Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode in my question series. We are now on to episode 21. I want to thank everybody who has participated in this question series, as I've had a lot of fun doing it. This is something I really enjoyed that people used to do in the community. I've actually been seeing a lot more people recently doing discussion and question videos, which is great. Really appreciate everybody who has taken the time to answer my questions, whether they did it as a comment or some of you who have taken the time to do video responses. I have really enjoyed watching those videos, and I do appreciate anybody who's taken the time to film a video response answering these questions. I will be having a contest I will hold at the end of this series, and for every video that you answer, you will get entries into that series. You can get up to 2 entries by answering as a question and by doing a video response. You don't have to do both. You can do one or the other if you want to. I do ask so that if you do upload a video response, just let me know about it so that I can post a link to your video as a comment, because YouTube won't let other people post links to their comments. They delete it. But if you let me know about it, that way I can check it out, because I always don't get alerted to people that I'm sub to, that if they upload a video or not. I sometimes miss it, as YouTube doesn't always let me know, and I would hate to miss it, so let me know, that way I can check it out, and I also post a link to it. But I do appreciate anybody who's taken the time to answer these questions, as this has been a really fun series for me to do, and I look forward to filming them whenever I'm able to. So we're now here on the 21, and so for question 21, I want to ask you guys is, how important is story for you in the games that you play? How important is story for you to have in a game for you to be able to enjoy it? Do you like games that are heavily story focused, or are you more someone that just likes to play a game real quick and you don't really care about it? Me personally, I really do love story in my games. Like, it's something I really enjoy playing through games. I know some people aren't really big into the story, they just want to play a game. And now there are different games that obviously you can't have a story. Like, I do enjoy playing like your Pac-Mans and your side-scrolling beat-em-ups and your puzzle games and your Tetrises and racing games and stuff. And now there are some racing games that have story, but usually those are just like playing for like high score, especially the old arcade games, your Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Galaga, Donkey Kong, and all that. Those are more about you getting a higher score than someone else and having a better score than your buddies and doing better at the game. Whereas we've progressed through gaming over the years, stories become a bigger focus on it, and they're basically like interactive movies sometimes. And I really have enjoyed how games have evolved into more than just keeping score, where there are real stories that you can get really emotionally invested into and really enjoy the games. And so I just got a few here, like, I really love this Game of Thrones Telltale series. I talked about it last week in my weekly playlist episode series. This is a really heavily focused story-based game, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was really great. The story just had me enthralled. The music, the atmosphere, everything just sucks you in and keeps you on in the play. And so I do love story-based games, and so this is one here that I liked. Another one here, classic for PlayStation 1 that I've beat many, many times. I like to play pretty much every Halloween. That is the original Silent Hill. Really love the story in this game as well. There's a nice deep story, multiple endings and stuff. It's really spooky, and it just keeps you engaged with the characters, the voice acting. Everything is done really well in this game, and I just love it that it has a lot of story in it. I also have like Gears of War here, which I love this game. It had an amazing story. I know a lot of people love the story, but it also had a multiplayer mode, and you can go through and play the multiplayer, which, like, there's games like Call of Duty I like, but I only play those for the campaign and story, which those had some fantastic campaigns where some people don't even care about the campaign. They just go strictly for the multiplayer, and they have a lot of fun just playing through matches of that over and over. But I really like the Gears of War. I did play the multiplayer in this, but I always preferred the campaign and the story. This had an awesome story, and I love the different Gears of War games. The trilogy, Gears of War 1, 2, 3, were fantastic games. Really superb games, great gameplay, and overall story that I really loved. And so that was a series I loved the story in. Another one here is like the Yakuza series. Here I have Yakuza 2. I recently did get the Kiwami version of this on PlayStation 4, so I do have all of them on PlayStation 4 that I'm going to go through, and I'm actually working on playing through those. And I do love it that they're big story-based games. I love the story. Now, don't get me wrong, there are non-story-based games I like. Like, example here is Tokyo Extreme Racer 3. This is one of my favorite racing games on the PlayStation 2. It's a laid-back game. You just go around and race. There's not really a big story, just basically like, you want to beat the other rivals, and you go out racing at night, and you get to run around the different streets of Tokyo. But there's also city of Yokohama, Osaka, and Nagoya. So 3 other cities to race through, and you have like 600 rivals and stuff. So, I can play the racing games and stuff like this too. I don't have to always have story in my games. And sometimes the stories aren't, the greatest, or they aren't the big focus. Sometimes just the gameplay is. But for me, I generally prefer these days to play more story-based games for me. Because like I said, I've grown up with gaming since it was 4 years old. 89, playing the original NES with the Mario Brothers and stuff when I was 4 years old. And, those are just your basic, it has a little basic story, but that's mostly just playing the game and having fun and playing your Tetris and Pac-Mans over the years. But as I've gotten older, I've enjoyed more and more of the story games. Like, I just love the interactive stories and stuff that are in them. And I prefer those actually over to games that are just, go through and get a score or something and play, or just run around and kill people in a multiplayer thing, which I'm not big into multiplayer these days anyways. But I love playing these, the story games, which I still do enjoy the non-story based games. But for me, I'm more into playing games for their story and experiencing what the creators and developers of the story they wanted to tell to you, and you got to be interactive with it. Because, it's like an interactive novel, which I do like to read as well. But it's just a different medium with video games, because you actually get to take control of characters and you get to play through the story and sometimes make the story your own. And I've always enjoyed story-based games over the non-ones. Like I said, I still enjoy them, my racing games and fighting games and puzzle games and things like that. Those are fun, but I do prefer having story-based games and having story in my games. I do find them important, especially as we get further along with our technology. As we get deeper, we're able to have much more immersive experience, especially with like the VRs and stuff, where you can practically go into the game and stuff. Like, it's awesome having really great narratives and stories to play through in games. But I'd like to know your guys' answer. Like I said, mine is I prefer to have story in my games. I know some people might be the opposite. Maybe you don't like that many of a story. You just like a game, pop in some Call of Duty, go online and kill a bunch of people, hang out with buddies and friends. Maybe you're more into playing the old Pac-Mans and getting that high score and beating other people, with a better score for the bragging rights and stuff, and just enjoy the competitiveness of maybe fighting games and stuff. Maybe that's more your thing. But I'd like to know your guys' answer. Is story very important for you in your games? For me, personally, they are. I prefer them. I'd say it's like it's an 80-20, where I prefer my games 80% to have story. I do still enjoy my racing games and puzzle games, but I prefer to have story in my games, especially for newer generations and stuff, as we just have much better graphics and better performance and more powerful consoles, and they're able to tell stories that they weren't able to before in the past, when we were kind of limited by the hardware. Like the NES obviously couldn't tell really deep and emotional stories like you can tell now with practically realistic graphics. So I'd like to know your guys' answer. How important is story for you in the games that you play? I'd love to know your guys' answer. You guys can answer this question by leaving a comment. You could also film a video response answering this question, which I would love to check out. I just ask, if you do film a video response, please let me know about it, so I can share the link in the comments of this video so other people can check it out. I would hate to miss your video. You also will get credit for it, because like I said, I will have a contest I'm holding at the end of this series, and for every video participating, you'll get an entry. And if you do both a comment and a video response, you actually can get 2 videos per video. So right now, as of this video, if you did all 21 and did both of those, you get up to God, a little tired here, guys. 42 entries into that contest, and I do plan to have multiple prizes, as I want to have more prizes than just one, and I'm looking for things to give away in that, which is down the line, but keep an eye out for that here in the future. I've had a blast with this series, and I'd love to hear your guys' response. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day. Get time to play those games and enjoy them, my friends. Take care and be well.